So while I was at the airport, about to get on my plane to fly over to North Carolina, which is why I haven't been uploading videos, by the way, I thought, well, the flight's gonna be like 7 hours, I might as well look for some bad horror app games on the App Store to try and kill some time. And among some of these games, one of them being Granny 2, the other I don't remember, I found this one game called Ice Scream. You get it? This game was really intriguing. This game really got my attention. It was fucking awful. I hated it. I've played Granny. You know that other game that children's YouTubers won't shut the hell up about?
Oh my goodness, guys. No, I don't want to play.
Yeah.
I'll turn into a baby.
And I legitimately enjoyed that more than Ice Cream. But what I was wondering was, what is the story behind this game? Why is this guy going around freezing kids in his little ice cream truck? So, the one thing I thought I could get out of this game was this story. The issue is that the only videos I could find on the story about this game were... I could not take them seriously. They were that bad.
Rod loved his father's ice cream when he was a child, but he became fatter and fatter. Maybe because of the secret ingredient of the ice cream.
Right, maybe it's because it was fucking ice cream. Jim went to the store to get a pair, but found out that they were all out. Then he was sad. This literally sounds like a 5th grader's book report. They managed to tell the story in one of the most uninteresting ways possible, and at times it's honestly irritating to watch. So I'm hoping that with this video, I can do at least a little bit better at explaining this story.
Dig that rockin' rhythm in the old corner store. There's a crazy jukebox and a new swingy floor. Man, the joint's jumping with the sign on the door. All the teenagers are loud. Well, amen.
Ah yes, the 1950s, where our story begins. And this time we had rock and roll, drive-in diners, and most importantly, segregation.
That's pretty cringe.
This is also the time that Rod, the main character, the one who wears the mask, was born in. When Rod was born, his mother died in childbirth, meaning that throughout his life, he grew up with his single father. Rod's father worked as an ice cream man, and Rod, sequentially, enjoyed his ice cream, which made him fat. During this time, Rod did not like the other students in his school because he was repeatedly bullied for his weight. So he spent a lot of personal time bonding with his father. Although him and his father were pretty close, his father would never share the secret formula to his ice cream with his son. This is how I imagine those arguments going.
Please, Dad, I just want the secret formula to make the ice cream.
Listen here, son. You don't get that flavor until you f*** your mother.
Dad, I just want the secret formula.
Listen here, son. You ain't getting that formula until I die. I'll tell you what, little boy. I'll kill your mother. You better fucking shut.
That's annoying.
Anyways, while him and his father were on a trip in the mountains, they both approached a frozen lake. Rod asked his father,
Hey, Dad, can I go in the river, Dad?
His dad obviously said, no, son, you can't go in the river, because it's probably gonna break. But, being the little shit he is, he ran, literally ran, on the ice, and his father had to chase him. What? Kids, man, I don't understand them. His father caught up to his son, but oh no, oh, look at the ice fell from underneath them, and they both fell into the river below. A few hours later, a helicopter went around because it had reports of 2 likely dead bodies in the river. After pulling the 2 bodies out of the lake, whatever, I don't care. After pulling the 2 bodies out of the water, they found that the father had passed away, but the son still had vital signs. Miraculously, when he was brought to the hospital, he woke right back up, and because he was an orphan, he was entrusted into a college. After that, he got a little bit weird, he got a little bit kooky, he got a little bit quirky. He hated everybody and everyone around him, apparently because they were fat, stupid, they loved ice cream, and they smiled. And because of this behavior, he was obviously still bullied by his peers. Hey guys, did you know that tomorrow is Bring Your Son to Work Day? My dad's bringing me to the mill, where he works. Oh, sorry Rod, I didn't know you were in earshot.
Cry, little baby, cry.
The ridicule was just too much. Also, it's worthwhile to mention that falling into that icy lake somehow affected Rod supernaturally. He was cold to the touch, he never laughed, he hated the sun because he was used to cold temperatures, and he sleeps outside because the cold feels better to him. This is also probably the reason why he can spit out icy breath to freeze children. Now, do I say this because it makes sense? No. This plot makes no sense whatsoever. When Rod was 19, he started working in a cafeteria, and with the money he earned from that job, he bought himself a little house area. Now this next part makes absolutely no sense to me. I understand that this guy is definitely, he has some kind of mental trauma, but it just, I can't even wrap my head around why he would think this would make sense. Basically, a few months later, he got a job as a caretaker
At a playground.
He looked at the children like a weirdo in hatred, and he was thinking to himself, I'm gonna kill these kids to avenge my father. What? Who wrote this fucking story? It kinda made sense up to this point, but then now I'm hearing this, I'm like, bruh.
And the comedy award goes to not to you.
There's also this journal you find inside the house of the ice cream man. Here's an excerpt from one of the passages. Today my reign of delicious terror begins. Everything is ready. I will go through the street where Daniel J lives and give him one of my super special ice creams. How could he refuse it? I added the necessary amount of secret ingredient to kill him, so he'll leave this world within 2 hours. Without a doubt, it is much less than it deserves. I am an avenger. I am a hero. I am Rod, the ice cream maker. Just put a sock in it. Now, you're probably at this point of the video and you're saying to yourself, Cheese Man, what the hell is going on? This story makes no sense. You're probably just a bad storyteller, and you deserve that 600 and something subscribers you have, because you're that bad of a YouTuber.
This is terrible.
Now, although the latter may be a little bit true, a teeny bit true, okay? I'll accept that. I'll accept that criticism. I really don't have much to work with, okay? It's just the more you think about this game, the more questions come to mind and the more confused you get. Why can the kid drive? If the kid isn't the one driving, why is the ice cream man driving him to these certain locations that he's picking up on the map? If he is able to drive, why doesn't he go to the police station? Why does he decide to figure this all out by himself and not go to an adult? Why is this man able to abduct a child in broad daylight and only have like one person take notice? Why is the town so abandoned? Nobody lives there besides the ice cream man and like 4 children. Where are the adults? Where are people in general? In the second game, you see this drive-in theater where there's a bunch of cars parked in front of the movie, but like you can't see through the windows and nobody really comes out to yell at you when you open up their trunks. Is this like the mannequin town from Indiana Jones, where things are just set up in certain places that simulate an actual town when in all reality, it's just fake? Wait! Because this is, the town just comes off as fake. There's no life. None of this makes sense. Also, there are so many plot issues, grammatical errors, caption inaccuracies.
Now I'm older, and I take good care of my affairs.
Technical problems and glitches, and historical inaccuracies that it's not even funny. For example, from the synthwave soundtrack to just the overall look of the kid's room, you get the impression that this game definitely takes place in the mid-80s. Well, here's the thing. That aforenamed journal that I talked about a little bit earlier says the year is 1975. 2 years before the Apple II was invented, and almost a decade before arcade game graphics like this could exist. And with all these glaring problems, the game just overall feels unfinished. It's almost like 7 different people worked on this game, but none of them had contact with each other, so they all made separate different ideas, and once they were all finished, all 7 of those ideas were lazily put together, and they became this game. So, here's a quick little Cheeseman tip, a quick little fun fact, a quick little life hack. If you're planning on playing this game, do not think about it. Do not think about the story. All you need to know is that bad man in ice cream mask is going to kill you, and he's going to kill your friend if you don't save them in time. That's all you need to know. You think about it any further, just an inch further. You start getting confused, maybe angry depending on your anger management. It's just not worth your time. Also, the main villain of the game, you know, the ice cream man, is goddamn pathetic.
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself?
I know when he was younger he was bullied for being fat, which already makes him somewhat pathetic, but as a grown man, he's still a little, he's pretty lame. You can throw a map at his face, and he gets stunned for like 15 seconds. Imagine if you just hit him in the gut. He's also 5'8", so like 5 inches shorter than me, aka not a threat, and arguably not a man. But the saddest thing about this character is that he has no ass. I mean, come on, that's just a sad sight to see. Why you gotta do my man like this? If he had an ass, he would not be a psychopathic murderer. Just think about it, okay? It makes sense. Now, listen, if you're the game developer who made this game, you're probably a great person. I'd probably go out with you to the pub if you offered. In 4 years, when I turn 21. Is it 4 years? 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. I did math! I did the math right! You just can't write. You can't write a story for this character. And I'm not saying it's a bad character. If you got a good writer, if you got the story well, this character would work, because I think it's a decent idea. Although it's been done before, I don't think it's a complete lost cause that's unsalvageable. I think it could be something that could be legitimately scary if it's put in the right hands. Whoever developed the game, though, you are not obviously the right hands. So, please hire a writer with that epic App Store money that you probably have millions at this point. Anyways, we all love video games, but not all video games. And that's the moral of today's story. I'm sorry if this video seemed a little bit disjointed. It's just because I've returned to making videos as just kind of a warm-up. 100% of what I said in this video could be false. I would not know. And I personally don't really care. If you somehow enjoyed the video, please subscribe. I'm on my knees right now. I am begging you to subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can get AdSense, the community tab, and so I can finally tell my parents I'm not wasting my time.
If I ever make $1, I'm gonna squeeze it until it's a hard time. Hard time got me now.
I'm gonna exterminate you anyway. What's happening? What is